We're up for another Monday, which means Atlassian News and Updates provided by Nikki here, myself, and Peanut today, which is sleepy. We're the founders of Jexo, a fast-growing Atlassian marketplace partner providing delightful work management apps for Jira. Quickly mention before we get started, once more we have guest news presenters here on Monday Coffee with Jexo. Yeah, I know, exciting. As of next week, we'll have another round of amazing people from around the Atlassian ecosystem providing you with the news. Stay tuned on our socials this week to find out who's the first guest.
I'm curious who is the first guest. I don't know.
We'll see, we'll find out. So now let's get back to the news. What's the first one, Nikki?
Okay, so if you're looking for an Atlassian community event where you can speak, this is a great post for you. Sharon posted in the speaker bench group in the community the roundup of ACE hosts and the topics their audience is most interested in. The most common topics are agile methodologies, Atlassian tools, marketplace integrations, product use cases, but also team practices and cloud migrations. The range of the topics is really broad, so I'm sure everyone finds something to talk about. So if you're interested in the speaking, check out the post to see how to connect with the ACE leaders.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really want to see more talks at ACE events. I think we should also talk a bit more at ACE events. Right, so next up, Atlassian is exploring moving its partner holding company from UK to US. This move would potentially give Atlassian exposure to more opportunities for access to capital and investors and streamline their corporate structure. The exploration has not yet concluded, with final approval due soon, and the aim is to close the transaction in the first half of the fiscal year 2023. Also, Atlassian mentioned there should be no significant change for their operations or business model. This is interesting. Had absolutely no idea their main holding company is based in UK. If I would have guessed, I would have said that they're already in US. But then again, I don't know. I've never dig deep enough into these things to know.
Yeah, I never knew where they're incorporated, so this was a surprise to me as well. Anyways, there are some great news for everyone who is using Jira Work Management. Now you will be able to create your Jira Work Management projects as a team-managed project. That means that your projects won't be reliant on global settings like company-managed ones. This is great if your teams want more autonomy and they're looking for a simplified admin experience that doesn't impact other projects. You can, of course, continue using company-managed ones in Jira Work Management if you are looking for a way to efficiently manage your projects at scale with a global administration.
Hey, team managed.
Oh yeah, you love them, right?
Yeah, moving upwards and forwards. Right, and here's what the week looks like for events. A wealth of webinars and events happening this week. We have an Atlassian organized webinar about estimations and reporting, followed by another ITSM lightning talk about Atlassian's own IT service desk and how they modernized it. On the partner side, tomorrow MetaInf is having Hungarian meetup, and then Thursday is packed with 5 webinars, from calculating ROI of moving to cloud by E7 Solutions, or a German webinar about Atlassian Cloud by Cutworks, and a fireside chat by Tempo and ALM Works, talking about the future they're building together. So pretty much an action-packed week. Do navigate to Goosely page we put together to discover all of these events, and for further details, links in the description.
This is great. I'm really interested about the Tempo and ALM Works talk. I enjoyed that one. That's going to be insightful. Yeah. Anyway, so if you're wondering what's the best way to find out about new improvements that were rolled out to your Jira, you can use a new InProduct release notes. You can find them under the question mark button in your Jira navigation, and then under find out what's new in Jira. Peanut wanted to find out as well what's new in Jira. So here you can see all changes that are available in your Jira instance. So this is a really great way to stay up to date and understand what was rolled out and what is available now. Because if you're, for example, following Atlassian Release Notes blog or Community Release Notes posts, you often notice that many features are being rolled out gradually, and you don't really know when they are going to be available in your Jira instance until you check. So now you can use this What's New panel and see it yourself. But if you're an administrator and you want to keep an eye on what's coming, it's still good to watch the release notes blog and the release tracks as well, so you can prepare your users.
No, that's awesome. I think the centralization is important, because even us, when we pick up the updates of features and stuff, we're picking up from various parts. All right, so moving on to article of the week. This one is an important message that everyone needs to hear, especially with this shift towards remote and global teams from the last few years. Cultural differences are important, and everyone should be mindful of these when working with colleagues abroad. And no, treating everyone the same way is not the answer. Reading this article did make me think that I should be digging more into cultures in the countries where our teams reside. We have members across India, Spain, Brazil, Mexico, and many more. We do our best, both Nikki and I, to recognize that not everyone works the same way we're used to here in UK. However, there are mentions in this article that require deeper research, like how you structure your meetings, how you greet people, and the tone of voice and expressiveness you have. There are examples in the article, like organizing meetings and meeting agendas need to be done with proper notice for Thailand teams. So there's preparation time for them. I usually hop on spontaneous Zoom calls with the team, and if we had someone in Thailand, that would be probably looked as rude, I suppose.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so fundamentally, the article is meant as an awareness piece, not specific how to treat global teams, because there are tons of and many variables to be able to do that in a single article, right? So figure out what you do that might not be quite right in cultures of teams you work with, as well as things that you're not doing and should be doing. Then make sure your team is aware of these cultural differences as well. It's important for not just you as the team lead or whatever to be aware, but your team should be sensible as well. And that's it.
I'm curious if there are any tips on how to figure out these cultural differences.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Where would I find these?
You probably need to ask.
Yeah.
But that's hard because people usually think that everyone does what they do, so there must be some like best practices to do so. Anyways, we should do more Google. Maybe we are going to discuss this on the Twitter Spaces today.
Yes.
And that's about it for the news about Atlassian. I hope you enjoyed Monday Coffee with Jexo, whether you're watching us live or recorded later. Just a reminder, links for all the topics that we discussed today are in the description, so don't forget to check them out. We are live today on Twitter Spaces at 6 p.m. UK time to discuss this week's news in more details, so don't forget to follow Jexo on Twitter and join us. Have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone. See you soon.